Good morning and welcome to my home. And thank you for joining me. I want to tell you something today that will transform your life. I do believe that every Christian's life could be transformed by understanding these three purposes for which God created you and me. As a young Christian, often I would ask, what was God's purpose for having created me? I needed to know why He would choose me, why He would want me as His child. Anytime I would talk to other Christians, they would tell me that I was created to glorify God. Unfortunately, the longer I walked in this Christian walk, the harder I tried to be glorious for God, the more I stumbled, the more I fell, the more I realized that there was nothing in my covetous, self-centered heart that could glorify God unless He made some major transformation. So it wasn't me who brought Him glory. I studied and I read Jonathan Edwards' book, The End for Which God Created the World. And he puts a very strong case that yes, the end purpose, the end result at least, is that God will be glorified beyond anything that we could ever imagine. But purpose and end are not always the same. Where I realized from Acts 17 that God didn't need me. He created everything. He gave breath. He gave life. He didn't need me to bring Him glory. There's nothing my hands could do that would enhance that. And if that is the case, then what was His true purpose for creating me or for choosing me? And so then I searched, and one day, as I was reading John 17, the prayer that Jesus prayed to the Father on His way to Gethsemane, I realized from eternity past, there was this wonderful love, this glorious, this pure, this perfect love between Father and Son, a love that would do anything to honor the other. There was no selfishness, there was no need, there was no desire for anything other than to love. And that love was so great and so big and so magnificent that it overflows into the Holy Spirit, which is the very essence of that love. And it's a love filled with joy, admiration, an exuberant love such as we can hardly even imagine, although we search for it every day of our lives. So God's first purpose was to share, not an equal sharing. It was God's overflowing, abundance of love powering down upon this, His creation. Yet He knew that for the creation to even be able to understand the height, the depth, the breadth of that love, the creation would need to have will and free will to choose or to not choose. He stands with open arms to share that love with all who would come, all who would want, or all who would desire him. The second purpose was to share in his joy. For God is a joyous God, overflowing with beauty, grace, and joy. That's what Jesus kept telling his apostles. That's what he prayed, that their joy might be fulfilled in him. Not through counterfeit joys, not through counterfeit means, but that his joy might be in them, abiding, overflowing, resounding. A joy that understands that God's plan is perfect love and joy and hope. And his third was to share in his glory. To do that, he had to transform our hearts from the selfish, self-centered hearts that we were. See, God doesn't need me to help spread the word of the gospel. He doesn't need me. It is his grace that would allow me to be a part of that and to share in his glory with that. And yet it's not even my own glory or my own power in which I can do that. It is his. And as he pours forth his magnificent love, as he reaches down to fill my heart with the joy, knowing that he is my greatest treasure, as he does all of that, he transforms my heart, changing me ever so slightly, every day of my life, so that in the end, I become like a mirror that he has removed the blemishes and he has polished until it shines forth to him his own glory, his own love, his own joy, reflecting back into heaven, just like a light reflecting off a mirror is magnified. It magnifies his glory. So yes, his end is that God will be glorified. But his purpose was love. To share the love that he had, for the only thing that could make his love greater was to be able to share it with another. The only thing that could make his joy greater was to share it. That's why Christ was willing to go to the cross, for the joy that was set before him, for all the people he would bring into his arms of love. So, dear Christian, if you're ever struggling in this battle, remember this. God chose you to shower his love. And every step of this journey is to bring you closer to His bosom, where you will feel His joy, for God is our greatest treasure. And as we learn to desire Him as that such, we find peace, hope, and in that, we glorify God by our devotion and our love. For I am content to just sit at His feet every morning and every evening, so that I can face every circumstance of this life with His joy inside me. And I want that for you as well. Thank you for joining me today.